Ever wonder why some resource-rich nations skyrocket to wealth, while others struggle? Look at the Gulf states, and then look at Africa. Similar colonial pasts, huge natural resources, but completely different outcomes that all came down to one thing, and that one thing is Cold War geopolitics. The West needed Gulf oil and needed to block Soviet influence. So, they made a deal. They said, we will protect your regimes, all you have to do is give us your oil and allow us to build military bases in your countries. This security guarantee and Western investments made the Gulf states rich, but it came at a price. As we have just witnessed recently, the price is the inability of the Gulf states to defend themselves against Western aggression. Africa, on the other hand, got a totally different deal. Africa became a chessboard for superpower proxy fights during the Cold War. Since the emergence of the United States as the only power in the world, exploitation of African resources have continued. The colonial legacy left behind by Britain, Belgium, France, Germany, Portugal, and Spain still prevails. The legacy of instability and economies built only for extraction and not for the African people still prevails. The legacies of divide and conquer, or the newer method of divide, destabilize and extract, now prevails. But things are changing in Africa, and a new player has entered the game. China's massive investments in Africa changes everything. For the first time, Africa has real leverage. China is not a colonial power. China is a trade and infrastructural partner that operates on a principle of non-interference. Through its partnerships with African countries, it is building roads, ports, and railways where they are desperately needed, and the best part is that it doesn't lecture African countries on governance. This gives Africa something it's never had before. Now that African countries are expanding their partnerships with China, they need to ensure that they negotiate smarter by demanding deals that include technology transfer and training. African countries should ensure that the infrastructural developments built by China, like ports and railways, boost African trade and not just exports to China. African countries also need to strengthen their governance systems for lasting stability that will attract further Chinese investments. Africa is the next great powerhouse. The world needs resources, its people, and its voice. Now is the time to use that power. Now is the time to build a future not for foreign interest, but for the African people. African countries and their leaders should remember that the future is built by choice and not by chance. African countries must choose the right partners for progress, defense, and prosperity.